What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Guliato Bango Boyle. You're now tuned with Edition Podcast, and like they always say, like and subscribe so I look cool. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? It's Guliato Bango Boyle. You're now tuned to Edition Podcast, and you're probably wondering where the heck have I been, and who is this guy right next to me? Those are all great questions that shall be answered in this episode. Man, to get it started, we're always adding on over here to an Edition. That's why it's called Edition Podcast. But I don't like introducing people. I want you to introduce yourself. You know, for the people watching right now that seeing your face for the first time. Who are you? Like, what's your name? Who are you?
Hey, man. Before we get into it, I just want to say thanks for having me over. Super excited about this journey that we're about to hop on. To introduce myself, my name is Mo Bile. I'm from the Twin Cities, originally from upstate New York. By birth, I'm Kenyan. I currently reside in the Uptown area, so I am a Minneapolis resident through and through.
Okay, awesome. I used to live in Uptown. Great area, man. A lot of things going on. I don't know if they're good now, but things are going on.
Yeah.
You said you're Kenyan by birth, but what is your nationality? What are you?
Right. So, nationality-wise, my parents are of Somalian descent.
Okay.
But I was born in Kenya. Grew up in upstate New York. Been living here for the past 15 years now.
Yikes.
You know, Minnesota, by far one of the best states, I would say, in my opinion. You know, but the only downside is, you know, the winter.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of the winter, but it is what it is. At this point, I'm used to it. You know, you just gotta buckle up when the winter is here.
Yeah.
Don't leave your place, and yeah.
Okay, awesome. Now, a little bit of, I always look back, like, dang, each individual that I always meet, like I always try to figure out where we first, made contact, right? And another, where do we meet? That's a good one, just for the individuals, because they're like, do these guys even know each other?
Right.
And I guess another question is, what was your first impression? This is a question I was told to ask, like when you first met me, where we met, and what was your first impression of each other?
When I first met you, first, like, me and you just got into random conversation. And it wasn't like, it wasn't awkward or anything. It just was like one of those, barbershop talk. And you were at Akwe's barbershop,
Yeah.
The number one barber in the Twin Cities. It's only fair that we met there. But we randomly started talking, and I thought you were like a funny ass dude. You just came off as like super energetic guy.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, like from there it was just like super natural. It wasn't like official like, hey, nice to meet you, blah 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 type shit.
Yeah.
But it was more so like we were in the middle of a conversation, me and Akeem, and then you jumped in, and then from there, like it just felt like natural, like
yeah.
Relationship, just like it happened.
Man, I do that a lot. I just get into people's conversations. Sometimes it doesn't go as good as I planned, but man, that's awesome. And for the people out there that want to know a little bit of just like, maybe for occupation wise, what do you do for a living, as they say? Do you work a 9 to 5? Are you a barber? Do you cut hair? Are you PS5 scalper? Like, what do you do, man?
As 9 to 5, I work for Target, corporate. I've been there for about 2.5, 3 years, almost 3 years now, as a business analyst. And I love it. It's a great company to work for. Great culture. They take care of their own people there really well. Also, I don't consider this a side hustle, but I coach.
Okay.
On my free time, because I like to give back and teach and mentor young people.
Yeah.
So I have been coaching soccer for the past 12 years now.
Yeah.
And it's just one of those things that like I have so much knowledge of, and I want to give back and teach young players, how to play the game responsibly, how to
Yeah.
play the game the right way. So.
Man, that's crazy. That's awesome, man. Coaching the young kids. What age group I would have to just throw in there? Is there a certain age group that you coach?
Yeah. So right now I'm working with, so it depends like year by year. So like every 2 years I get to work with like a group of players.
Yeah.
And then once the club that I work for has a policy that every 2 years they rotate coaches to like freshen things up.
Yeah.
Currently I am working with 2 age groups. One, the U10, so they're like younger boys.
Yeah.
And then the other ones are high school boys, like U17, U18 boys towards, getting ready for college now. So I work with a lot of like older boys right now.
And I'll bring you on the show. I did put not like a PSA out there, but I think I made a tweet out there that you tweeted back. I was like, okay, maybe let me holler at Mo Billy, right? What made you interested in being like a co-host on a podcast? And another question I would just to add on top of that is, what do you bring in to the table that is gonna help us, elevate to the next levels? Because that's what people want to know. Like, who are you? What are you doing?
Right. So when I first met you, and you were talking about creating this podcast and like where you were headed and all of that, we had a conversation about like, hey, like what are you looking into, like, having a co-host? And at the time you were like, no, I'm going to do it myself. And then as time went on, that I subscribed to the podcast, myself, I listened to it. I remember just randomly telling you like, hey, you need a co-host. At the time, I wasn't even thinking of myself. I just said, in general, you need a co-host.
Yeah.
But, we're 2 completely different people. Mm-hmm. I'm super extroverted. And then on social media, sometimes, I tweet some things that like you normally would not tweet.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was the right person to really come in and bring that different perspective to the pod, to the viewers, to the listeners. And that's why I really at the time reached out to you in a serious manner and said, hey, you should consider me as your co-host, because I bring ABC to the table, which is, a completely different perspective. I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to go where normally you wouldn't go. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I plan to bring a lot of fun stuff to the table. So,
man, that's awesome, because I needed, like, when I would interview, like, 2 people, I feel like I was running out of questions, unless, like, we're having, like, a genuine conversation and it just rolls on,
Right.
Because usually I'm like, man, I only one brain, I'm the only thinking, like, what
Right.
can someone else bring, a question that I might have missed that, the viewers are looking for that I find out later. So I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, absolutely, man. The one thing is that, as always, like, the approach I have in life and in work is just, having that forward-thinking approach of, like, not only thinking about today, but, like, thinking about tomorrow, the next week, the following week, the next month, the next 6 months. Mm-hmm. So I plan to bring that same drive and energy to the pod.
Yeah.
And, bring some amazing topics, amazing content, amazing guests for our listeners, our viewers, and, take this podcast and, run with it. And I'm super excited to be the face of the pod.
He's funny. He did say on Twitter that he was, man, I'm the face. You're just the voice, basically. And I was like, damn, is he calling me ugly? It might be a diss. I don't know. But I got another question for you, man. Like, I like to make this personable. So, like, when people see you, they feel like they know who Mo Billy is, right?
Right.
They're like, that's Mo. He likes to do this and that. In your spare time, besides coaching, because you said coaching earlier, right?
Right.
What else do you do in your spare time? What do you like to do, activity-wise or just...
Believe it or not, I come off very extroverted, which I am, but I am such a homebody. I don't like leaving my place. I go out with friends maybe like once a month, twice a month to grab, dinner, like close friends. And then that's about it. I don't like leaving my place. I stay in my, apartment, read, play video games, and, sleep basically. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I did not know that.
I'm
Well,
such a homebody. You're not gonna catch me on the streets, that's for sure.
you're gonna catch me there. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah,
I'm kidding.
exactly. That's why we balance each other out. So like, you be out in the streets, I'm gonna be at home. So it's life is all about a balance. So
Okay,
yeah, that's how it is.
Hope you enjoy your 9 hours sleep. But
Man, I love it. Wouldn't have it any other way.
Perfect. This one right here is just for the people that are watching. They're gonna see what kind of character you are.
One thing I forgot to add.
Yeah.
One of the things that I like to do also when I'm not coaching or playing soccer is golfing. So yeah, I go golf with my buddies. So it's one of my favorite things to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not Tiger Woods, but I love golfing. Smoke a cigar while golfing, be out. Yeah, it's a fun thing to do.
Okay, just to see if you're a real golfer. How many holes in a golf?
It depends. So there are 9 holes. You could play a 9-hole, but you could also play 18. Typically, 18 is the more seasoned people play 18, so that it takes longer. So if you start, let's say 7 in the morning, you would be done with the 18 holes by like noon or 1 o'clock.
Oh no.
It does take some time because you have to like consider there are other people golfing in the course as well. So like it depends like the amount of traffic, but usually takes 3 to 4 hours to golf a round of 18. Sometimes go to the driving range and hit some balls. So that's another way of blowing some steam. So blowing off steam.
I'm not a golfer, so I'm gonna leave that to you. I'm a b-baller, so y'all catch me on Lifetime, even though I don't got my membership no more. Someone help me pay for it, right? So y'all get these views up. This one, bro, I love this question because I got to see when you're in your childhood, what kind of cartoons were you watching? That's in my head, right? I'm always like, what is your top 5 favorite cartoons? You have to put them up there. You're going to watch them. I know there's anime and all this. It's just group them all together. What are you watching Saturday morning? Come on, man.
So, as kids, we Saturday, of course, wake up, get your bowl of cereal, sit in front of the TV. Tom and Jerry first. Tom and Jerry used to be like the first one on. And then once that is over, Dexter would follow right there. And then from there, it used to be Powerpuff Girls and Johnny Bravo.
You kind of look like Johnny Bravo. You're a cool guy.
Honestly, I appreciate it. I'm not as corny as Johnny Bravo though. But if I had to rank my favorite cartoons, it'd probably be Tom and Jerry, Dexter, Johnny Bravo, and then more recent ones. I love watching. Family Guy. I also love watching Rick and Morty. It's like Rick and Morty is, it's hilarious show. Like sometimes you have to like, some of the jokes like go over your head. Yeah. You have to like pay attention to it. But it's one of those, dope show cartoon shows.
I'm gonna tell you.
If you want to consider a cartoon, it's more of a anime, but.
It's fine. That's just all. What would you watch? Me personally, I'm gonna tell y'all. His list ain't looking.
Yeah. Let's hear what you have to bring.
First of all, I'm gonna need Jackie Chan Adventures on there. I don't care what no one says. Static Shock. Yep. One of the greatest cartoons of all time. This is in no particular order anyway. SpongeBob.
Oh yeah, I forgot about SpongeBob to include mine. Are you still in that? Like, you. That is probably my top 5.
Your top 5?
Your top
okay,
5. Yeah, top 5.
Man.
Family Guy would have to like
Dragon
make
Ball
with.
Z count? Does that count?
Sure.
Dragon Ball Z, and then this is a throwback. I don't know if y'all remember Samurai Jack. Samurai Jack was a legend.
Samurai Jack, I tell people, and they're like, people who recently start watching anime, that, how like there's this like big time crazy like wave of people like watching anime right now.
Yeah.
But anime used to be lit when we were like
Super
kids.
late. Yes,
Like, you know,
super.
like Samurai Jack would come on at like 3 p.m., like right after school. And then as soon as you get home, it's like it's on TV.
Yeah.
And it used to be one of the dopest, like, really
Ever.
cartoons to watch. So, no, I love the fact that you mentioned that, man. I love it. I love it.
Love Samurai Jack. I
Yeah.
think it was like Toonami we used to watch too. Everything. But man, another one. This is kind of like if you had a chance to get in a time machine, right? Either go in the future to see what the hell is going on, or go back in the past to see what happened, you know, or how they build the pyramids, you know, what was life like back in the day. If you had a choice between going in the future or going in the past, what would you do if you had a choice, man?
You know, again, I mentioned, you know, I'm a forward-thinking person, so I'm always looking forward to the future. So obviously, like, I would choose the future option here. Reason being, having, you know, the knowledge and the idea of like what the future looks like, then would allow me to like prep myself right now accordingly.
Yeah.
So that's why I would go with the future. Also, I didn't realize this, but the older I've gotten, the longer I've worked at corporate America, you know, there are things that you just learn and just become a second nature, that you do. And I went from just thinking now in the present to like now I'm looking forward to, you know, like what I will be doing, you know, God willing, what I will be doing next summer or next fall or next winter. So, you know, the older you get, the more, you know, forward thinking you become. And, you know, I'm at that stage of my life right now where I'm always, you know, just like looking ahead and how to like better myself and how to like do things better and like make better decisions, you know, as an adult.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So definitely the future.
You're going in the future.
Yeah.
I'm the opposite of you. I guess we are opposites. I'm going in the past, man. I'm trying to see how they built the pyramids. What's going on? And one of my favorite quotes is, today was built on yesterday, tomorrow is built on today, right? So I'm going to know, why are we in the predicament and things we're at today by going and studying the past? I think that's
If you think about it though, I can choose to have access to the future and also like learn about the past by reading books.
But them books could be...
There are like some, you know, if you read some like nonfiction books that are like legit written, like historic books. I'm a big history buff. That's one thing. One of the reasons why I don't leave my apartment is if you see my Netflix shows that I watch, it's like bunch of like World War II or, you know, how the Vietnam War happened or how like Hitler like was planning on like, you know, overtaking the world, and like things like that excite the shit out of me, and I just geek out and I sit there for hours just watching this. And you know, it's like I love history so much. So, you know, you can use those resources to kind of like learn from the past and then also like have access to the future like I chose. So yeah, that's my thought process behind it.
Love it. This is one of the last questions that I have for you now. You know, as you're joining onto the team, you know, come to the Addition podcast. You know, we hiring over here, baby.
Man, the bag was too big for me to say no.
This guy ain't got nothing. I gave him nothing, y'all. So, as you're coming onto the team, right, and we're going to the future,
right.
What is your vision? What do you see happening with Addition podcast? You know, what do you have in your brains that you're like, you know, we can implement this or anything like that? You don't have to say it, but what you you got planned, man?
You know, we're gonna bring you. No, you're a great partner. I don't think I will be able to do this without you. Obviously, you're going to be my yang to my yin, or my yin to my yang, or however that goes. But, you know, we have some fun topics, fun ideas, like fun, you know, like, conversations in the works for our audiences, and you know, when we talked first, and you said, you know, we want to like educate people and we want to really, you know, do exactly that.
Yeah.
You know, educate people and then also have fun. Also, like, have conversations that we normally would not have. Me and you, like, text sometime and we, like, DM each other sometimes. And there are topics that we discuss, but, like, we don't discuss those topics in public.
I'm getting canceled.
So, no, it's not about being canceled. Like, if you have conversations, like, in a responsible manner, no one's going to cancel you. If, like, things are true, no one's going to cancel you. And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to have conversations that we know are going to bring the, you know, the best out of both of us, but also, you know, educate our audiences. Yeah.
Education is top over here.
Yeah.
And then, so that's kind of like what I have for question-wise that I had written down.
Right.
Is there anything that I missed that, you know, you might feel like you want to share or anything like that? To the people, speak to the people, look at them, give them this message.
Yeah, man, I'm really excited to be joining the podcast. Super excited to, you know, have you as my co-host. And, you know, I've had the pleasure and the opportunity of doing other podcasts with other people. And to be honest with you, I haven't felt the excitement like I currently feel right now about this podcast. So I'm super excited on where the future of this pod is headed. And I just want you to know, you know, I'm going to challenge you and I want you to be ready for that. I'm not a yes person. So I will push your buttons. So I hope you're ready to, you know, be uncomfortable around me whenever the situation arises.
All right, I don't feel comfortable right now. Just kidding. But,
get used to it.
Yeah, so I want to give a shout out to all the people that have been just hitting me up, giving me ideas, man. I appreciate it. People liking, subscribing, sharing the videos, Facebook, and everything like that. I get calls from Africa, at least 2 a day. Some people from Kenya, Uganda.
Man, we love you guys. We love you guys. You know, we're in America, but we're never gonna forget where we came from. We know where we came from. You know, ultimately, you know, this country gave us a phenomenal opportunity to better ourselves in our lives, but
it's gonna come back.
We know who we are. You know, ultimately we are Africans, and you know, the continent of Africa like means so much to us. And you know, the motherland, we're never gonna forget about the motherland. So
time difference sometimes crazy, and some of you guys we haven't met. We might not. It might be a language barrier we haven't spoke, but you know what's going on. Other than that, we got be on the lookout for merch coming soon. Merchandise. We got some hoodies and some plans coming up soon. I'm gonna have a little special segment. I think I kind of told you guys about it last time. You know, we're gonna do a little share stories of my experiences that I had, whether that is like playing basketball or just getting robbed while selling shoes and things of that nature. People give me fake money that I think, one, you're going to learn from, and two, you're going to laugh, you know, because that's what I plan to do. So thank you guys so much for tuning in today. Shout out to Mo Billy. You know, he's in the building. Be on the lookout for him. If you see him, he's addition too, man. So it's not subtraction, baby. Let's get it. And Tim, shout out to Tim back there, man. He's a good guy. Been working with us now since my other cameraman moved away. Shout out to Timmy. Tim, let's get it.
#1 producer, man. Working with the #1 podcast of the Twin Cities. So, you know, find me on socials. You know,
social media,
on IG at Mobility. And then we have on Twitter. It's hard to find me because I try to keep a low profile on Twitter because I say some vulgar shit there. But, you know, try and engage with us. You know, the page is up on IG. So, you know, please send us your questions, your thoughts, how we can do this better.
Yeah.
You know, we want to hear from you. We love you guys. And, subscribe.
Like I said, like this so I look cool, baby. Let's get it. Peace.